Sophie Cunningham watched from even farther away after ripping her MCL and waiting months to be cleared to run again, while Caitlin Clark watched from the sidelines for the majority of the previous season as her quad, groin, and ankle all refused to cooperate. At Brooklyn's Barclays Center, that wait came to an end. It also didn't finish quietly. When the Indiana Fever entered New York Liberty territory, they defeated a team that most people had already given the 2026 championship and won by a margin of 18 points. In the incredible Indiana Fever victory over the New York Liberty, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham make a comeback. Tell me what you believe the Fever should do to win the championship this year in the comments section below. And Caitlin Clark has been heavily involved. 5 points. She's been acting aggressively lately, and I like that. As well as Sophie, Cunningham demonstrates that she still received several injections. Although Caitlin Clark is assisting with passing and off, she has made 2 threes. In 2025, Caitlin Clark participated in 13 games. Not 13 outstanding games in a season. Not 13 games prior to a scheduled break. Her body kept failing her. Thus, she only played a total of 13 games. She was dragged off the court by something else each time she attempted to return. The quad moved first. Then she began to have problems with her ankle. Then all came to a stop in July due to a groin ailment. It's not a bad break. She was repeatedly sent back to the training room during that season until she ran out of options. There isn't much anxiety. Simply go outside and run around. You know, there will undoubtedly be a few instances of sloppiness. For both groups, preseason games are essentially about that. Everyone is just attempting to get on their feet once you give them some run and determine which lineups work and which don't. The same is true for me. Therefore, I believe that I can definitely rely on the USA basketball activities I participated in, the experience of returning to the field, and the fact that my body felt well. When Clark talked about it afterwards, she didn't depict a clear recovery with a set end date. It was a vicious cycle of persistent injuries piling on top of one another. She also acknowledged that she was toying with her mind more than a single catastrophic injury would have, because she would strive to recover just to have another issue flare up. For that, there isn't a mental reset button. You can't simply choose to put your belief in a quad that consistently lets you down or, after weeks of tending to an ankle, push it off. The stacking issue did not affect Sophie Cunningham. That was the end of her MCL tour. The season is over. The answer was simply not in 2025. Thus, there was no doubt as to when she would return. An MCL tear is more than just painful. It modifies the automatic, mechanical functions of your body. How you plant, your foot striking a screen, how you cut in the direction of the ball, how you rhythmically load up to make a three-pointer. Cunningham's entire strategy revolves around those motions. She also had to spend more than a year relearning how to trust a fundamentally broken knee. This is what I've been dying to say. Finally, the preseason game day has arrived. Here we are in New York. Well, we're doing well. Enormous. It's wonderful to be back. Go ahead and cover our team in prayer if you have an additional 5 to 10 seconds or a minute. Pray for a healthy and enjoyable season for our league.
Ay, Miguel.
I'll see you all there. The fever persisted as they both recovered, and the team appeared to be moving closer to. Without 2 of its most crucial members available and healthy, anything genuine in 2024 had to immediately figure out what it was. When you're the one sitting out and not getting any rest, it's difficult to watch. You're not on vacation. While the season progresses without you, you're in the training room doing the same workouts every day. Additionally, you can't help but wonder if your game will truly be present when you return. For Clark in particular, the inquiry focused on her range, pace, instincts, and other qualities that distinguish her as Caitlin Clark rather than merely a skilled point guard. By the time the 2026 preseason rolled around, Coach Stephanie White had seen something. Clark had a different demeanor and played with a zest that White claimed was apparent from the sidelines. Hands it off to Clark down low. Gardner is watching over Clark as he raises the floater and rattles it in. At Barclays Center, Caitlin Clark's first action with the ball was to drive into traffic and raise it off 1 foot. And if you've played basketball long enough, One shot provides all the information you need to determine a player's physical location. A floater is touch, not power. Moreover, when your ankle is still partially healed or your quad isn't functioning properly, touch is the first thing that leaves you. Somewhere in the Fever fan base, people began breathing again after Clark's floater lowered. Playing USF basketball was undoubtedly exciting for you because it was your first game in 9 months. Extremely thrilled. This is obviously not a legitimate game, in my opinion. I recognize that, but that's how. We approach it as if it were a genuine game. I believe that you shouldn't take the opportunity to put on your uniform and tie your shoes for granted, especially because I didn't get to do so much last year. I believe that I am going into this game with a lot of excitement rather than a lot of anxiety. At the time, Barley's Center wasn't exactly a welcoming space. When the Liberty entered 2026, pundits were already treating it, the championship, as a formality. Additionally, Indiana entered the room without Lexi Hull, who was experiencing hamstring tightness, and without Aaliyah Boston, who was struggling with a lower leg problem. After the game, Coach Stephanie White affirmed that if this had mattered, both of them would have shown up, but it didn't. In order to give Clark the impression that 2025 never ended, Indiana used all of their resources against a team that applied full-court pressure. After 17 minutes of action, Clark finished with 7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and no turnovers. The Liberty's pressure was designed to create confusion and to force hasty decisions and poor passes, and Clark simply didn't give it to them. So 0 is the number worth sitting with. After the game, White said that Clark played with a lot of intention in everything she did. Additionally, it was visible on the ground. She wasn't pressuring or coercing, simply managing the offensive and consistently identifying the best play to destroy it. She is a knockout shot, yes. She is making the offensive foul since she is fierce over there. Clark drills it with the 3. Oh no, there behind the back. She then made a 3-pointer. The entire fan base of Fever let out a collective sigh upon witnessing her step-back pull-up 3. After months of tending to a tight quad and a damaged ankle, many were genuinely afraid that range, that deep pull-up, might not be there. Overall, Clark was 1 for 5 from long range, but she reported after the game that her misses were taking a long time, which is actually encouraging for a shooter recovering from an injury. You're just regaining your sense of space because your legs are beneath you. After the game, she added, "I felt speedy, so that was definitely a bonus. I believe. Last year, I had trouble in that region, but my body felt fantastic and I felt like I was moving well." That's Clark explaining to you in simple terms what everyone watching the floater already saw. From the beginning, Mo Billings was at her side, leading the pick and roll as if they had been doing it for months. Because, to be honest, they had essentially been between training camp and Team USA. Billings finished with 9 points and 7 rebounds, and the two of them in transition provided Indiana's offense with an early rhythm that the Liberty never really interfered with and kept improving. And that's exactly where we can see it. A lovely touch. Billings are low. I was able to finish and make a nice pass. As you can see, Sophie Cunningham initiated the game, and after 13 minutes, she had made 3 3-pointers for 14 points. And you can see why those weren't just buckets if you know what an MCL tear actually does to a shooter's body. Moving off screens, moving around the arc, catching, and firing before the defense can close out are all key components of Cunningham's game. Her knee must perform each of those moves precisely and without hesitation. Additionally, that knee had a structural injury less than a year before this game. Her first 3 hits were flawless. And that was her body attesting to the validity of the work she had done since January. Your muscles, arms, shoulders, and back. Thank you, girl. I've been working on it, she said in response. Cunningham inserts it once more. The Liberty wasn't exactly rolling over for anyone when she made her 3rd 3-pointer. Honu dropped 20 points for New York. On paper, Indiana's bench shouldn't have been able to withstand that level of pressure against a team with that much depth and skill. However, the Fever's reserves scored 62 points in the end. 62 versus an elite squad. Coach. After the game, Stephanie White emphasized that Indiana's bench depth will be crucial for navigating a lengthy postseason with possible 7-match series. Additionally, this game served as the first indication that the depth she developed is genuine and not merely something to say at training camp. Together with the fever, Cunningham devises the scam. Raven Johnson received the bounce pass. Cunningham inserts it. It was too simple. Chaudhary Walker-Kimbrough and Kelsey Mitchell tied for the team lead with 18 points apiece. Additionally, Walker-Kimbrough scored 9 points during a late-game 21-4 rally that effectively eliminated New York. Additionally, I adore the plot of last year's playoff speech, which was absolutely torching. Pun intended. I apologize, but I had a great game and won the hot hand. She truly improved in the lane last season, in my opinion. It falls after a tough lie. Give that some thought. Every pregame discussion, social media post, and broadcast intro focused on Clark's comeback before 2 more players went out and tied the score. In just 17 minutes, Mitchell scored 18 points on 7 of 12 shots. She wasn't hunting shots then. Every time she went down the court, she made the correct play, and the points came easily. Except the new parts, remain united and be linked. And they managed to get that one to fall there. Justine Pat, a 6'4" shooter who is still working her way into a regular WNBA position, scored 8 points while displaying enough range against New York's defense that opposing coaches will require, while Michaela Timpson added 11 points. Should take her into consideration when planning how to protect Indiana's spacing. In a pace and space system, a 6'4" shooter who can pull up from deep poses a serious threat. Against the Liberty, Pat provided the fever with just that. Adaptability. It's in the game. 16 points that evening. Avoid making reservations since the fever will destroy it. However, Raven Johnson needs her own time here. 6 points, 8 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 3 rebounds, and 17 minutes. After the game, coaches dubbed her Go-Go Gadget Arms. And it's more than simply a nickname. Before the Liberty even realized they lost the ball, she transforms New York's half-court sets into Indiana fast breaks by getting into passing lanes that other guards are unable to access. Johnson is in charge of the second unit, and Clark. The Fever maintain their pace as their starter is resting. And what distinguishes a deep roster from one that merely appears deep on paper is that continuity. Prior to the segment that was confiscated, Raven Johnson swatted. When it comes to defense, she is a beast. Walker-Kimbrough / Indiana defeated the team that most pundits had already predicted would win the 2026 WNBA championship by 18 points, 109-91. And they succeeded without even getting Boston and Hull to put on their uniforms. White referred to Indiana's 29 points from 24 New York turnovers as huge since it wasn't the result of fortunate bounces. It resulted from the Liberty's aggressive, disruptive defense, which kept them up at night. 32 points in the first quarter alone, 8 blocks as a team, and a bench that played hard every minute the starters were off the court. Going into 2026, Stephanie White was clear about what she wanted from this team. Top 3 in terms of speed in the league. That was the declared objective. Additionally, the Liberty game was the first opportunity to test if the group she assembled could genuinely compete at that pace for 40 minutes. All right, everyone. Well done. All right, well done. Game 1, Day 1. Our work and energy were excellent, in my opinion. But all in all, you guys did a great job. All right? Excellent effort. I'm happy with how we went out there and fought. Excellent. Take pride in who you are. All right, let's go together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together. Pace as a tactic is only effective if your staff can maintain it. And coming into the draft and free agency, White was aware of that. Forwards who run the floor rather than jog to their places, guards who push before the defense sets up, and a bench that maintains the same pace after the players sit are all necessary. Prior to the game, Clark affirmed the tactical aspect, stating that the longer she waits for the ball, Additionally, it gives defenders the opportunity to match her with Kelsey Mitchell however they see fit. Thus, the movement is a weapon as well as a source of energy. Defenses are prevented from settling by constant motion off the ball, and everything becomes vulnerable when a defense is unable to settle. That's exactly what led to the game's opening 8-0 run. The ball moved quickly, and the guards pushed before New York could. Back, filling lanes with forwards, and catching on the run rather than standing at half-court. Because Monique Billings and Shatori Walker-Kimbrough aren't conventional bigs who grab rebounds and wait for a play call, they played a significant role in the front court's ability to function that way. In particular, White pointed out that Billings runs the floor from rim to rim, and that Clark can toss it to her without slowing down. That is distinct, kind of front court, and New York was unable to respond right away. When they are outside on the floor, and in good health. Yes, the Liberty when Sabrina, the Liberty's defensive knowledge and length should have slowed Indiana down, but it didn't. By the second quarter, the speed had already caused damage as New York continued to struggle to catch up. However, the separation was actually caused by the pace strategy's defensive component. Mitchell leaps over passing lanes while Raven Johnson presses full court. Before New York could even call out a play, the Fever transformed Liberty half-court sets into Indiana transition buckets. White stated it clearly after the game, pointing to the 29 points off turnovers. If you are unable to grab the rebound and move forward, stops are meaningless. And Indiana took hold and spent the entire night. What? When this team plays well, it appears to be a feverish squad that doesn't require Clark to touch every possession. Defenses must always regard Clark because of her danger from deep and in transition. She makes room simply by being on the floor, but even when she is on the bench, the system continues to operate. Even though neither of them was dressed for Barclays Center, Aaliyah Boston can push in transition, and Lexi Hall can stretch the floor from the wing. Continues stacking days. Stuck and motivated to return. Gosh, oh gosh. The season's first up. I was planning to do that, but I won't have a fever. Dubs. The 2026 WNBA championship debate began and concluded with the New York Liberty prior to this game. Indiana is in that conversation after this game, and it is much more difficult to ignore them. No one is acting like A. Nothing is guaranteed by a preseason victory. That is what both coaching staffs will say in public, and they are correct. However, it wasn't a close game that Indiana won on a fortunate night at Barclays Center. Both Cunningham and Clark recovered from injuries that kept them out of action for the most of 2025. Indiana defeated the team that everyone had predicted to win by 18 points despite Boston, and Hall not even showing up. You can't explain that away in a film session with Mitchell fires on the third. Clark drills it with the three. Oh no, Raven Johnson is wanted. When it comes to defense, she is a beast. Kimbrough Walker. I enjoy it. The rear of Clark. That is no longer a question. In 17 minutes, she scored 7 points, dished out 4 assists, and had no turnovers against a defense designed to force her to make mistakes. And she gave them none at all. In 13 minutes, Cunningham scored 14 points. Less than a year ago, there was a structural tear in the knee that 3 trees dropped straight off. In addition to Mitchell, Walker-Kimbrough, Raven Johnson, and Billings, those two are also in good health. In actuality, Indiana's ceiling looks like that. New York also had a complete view of it. Indiana's ability to compete is no longer the question. When the regular season begins, it will determine how far this roster can go. Every game matters, too. When employees fit the system, chemistry develops quickly. Additionally, White's fast-paced first offensive is a perfect fit for this team. With them in particular, as it essentially was. Without the ball, Clark is moving. Rim-to-rim Billings. Johnson's long arms are getting into everything as he presses full court. The Fever can reset without calling a timeout. They simply leave. Cunningham inserts it. It was too simple. Timmons drills and creates space. He enjoys the three. Indeed, ma'am. The Beavers are attractive. Hull and Boston returned to a rotation that defeated the Liberty without them. And it's worth taking a moment to consider it. Indiana now has another floor spacer who can run in transition thanks to Hull's wing shooting. Additionally, Boston's capacity to push following a rebound ensures that the tempo doesn't slow down when they go to their front court with a fever. White's lineup lacks a slow gear. Opposing coaches don't seem to have a clear response to that at the moment. Before the regular season begins, Indiana's next 2 preseason games are at home against the Dallas Wings on April 30th and the Nigeria women's national team on May 2nd. Thus, the Fever have 2 more opportunities to improve their rotations and increase their chemistry between Clark and her colleagues, and before it's all over, give Cunningham more time on that knee. The Liberty left Brooklyn without a victory and without a clear strategy for stopping Indiana's attacks. Furthermore, the regular season is just a few weeks away. Tell me what you believe the Fever should do to win the championship this year in the comments section below. To ensure you never miss anything, like, subscribe, and enable all notifications. We'll see you in the video when you click on it. Next.